Hello Tolkien geeks! By now most of you have probably seen the minute-long teaser trailer for Amazon Prime's The Lord of the Rings television series. I'll be conducting a probably fairly short livestream tomorrow to talk about the news in a bit more depth. I'm still hoping to book a guest or two to join me, and I'm working out scheduling now, so I'll keep you all posted on that. Aside from the trailer itself, we now have a subtitle for the series, which is The Rings of Power. This, combined with the imagery of the trailer itself, which depicts molten metal being poured into a wooden mould, clearly indicates Amazon's intention to show us the forging of the rings, and to make this the central plot thread of their story. This occurred midway through the Second Age. Showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay released a statement. The Rings of Power unites all the major stories of Middle-earth's Second Age, the forging of the rings, the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, the epic tale of Númenor, and the last alliance of elves and men. Second Age Region, where the 19 other Rings of Power were forged, is one of the most interesting settings in Tolkien's world, so I'm very much in favour of this choice. I just hope their writing staff is up to the challenge of balancing this with also depicting the events of the late Second Age, which the statement indicates is also something that will be depicted, starting with the early days of Elendil and Ar-Pharazôn, and a very young Isildur, according to the latest leaks. These rumours are unconfirmed, but the source has credibility. The trailer opens with a close shot of the metal pouring through what looks like a valley shrouded in mist, appropriate imagery for a show set in the glorious landscape of Middle-earth. Not only that, but a visual metaphor is being employed here for the power of the rings in Middle-earth. They were devised by Sauron to trick the elves into submission, but also their influence afflicts and augments the land itself. The One Ring itself was much like the metaphor of Morgoth's ring, which was not a literal ring, and which was said to have been his will being imposed on the world to corrupt and pervert it. Sauron influences the Noldor of Eregion, who created the rings, by playing on their fear of the loss of the land that they loved. Of the Rings of Power and the Third Age, from the Silmarillion, tells us that the Noldor were not at peace in their hearts, since they had refused to return into the West, and they desired both to stay in Middle-earth, which indeed they loved, and yet to enjoy the bliss of those that had departed. The voiceover comes in, and we hear a woman's voice reciting the Rings of Power poem from the first page of The Lord of the Rings. I love the delivery, and I think the enunciation and the sense of drama that it instills is perfect, and spine-chillingly well delivered. We also get our first taste of the musical score in this trailer. Presumably this was from a piece that we will hear in the show itself, though perhaps not the main theme. It's hard to say. We do know that, apparently, the score will be a collaboration between Middle-earth veteran Howard Shore and Bear McCreary, who has previously worked on the 2000s Battlestar Galactica reboot. To be honest, the music didn't blow my socks off on the level of the Peter Jackson movies just yet, but that's a very, very high bar to set. The trailer eventually pans out and gives us the title and logo, which look extremely apt and set my excitement level to a 10. I think the title is about as good as can be expected. The marketing team will surely want to use the Lord of the Rings name in order to maximise their brand recognition, and the subtitle tells us that this isn't the story that everybody knows. There are other titles that they could have used, but this one works and is sensible enough. As I said, I'll have more for you all tomorrow, so stay tuned to Voice of Geekdom.